the quality of your Christian life will upgrade if you know these truths.
Soul winning guarantees God's presence. I'm coming back now to why Paul said, woe unto me if I win not, if I preach not the gospel. And if you are a home builder, one of the biggest assets you will carry is God's presence. When demons come, they can't enter your home. They can't affect your children. They can't corrupt your husband. You secure the borders of your territory with God's presence. Matthew 28, verse 20. In fact, from verse 19, it said, go into all the world and disciple all nations, teaching them what you have received from me. And he said, lo, I'm with you always, even unto the end of the age. Verse 20. Mark 16, 20. And they went, and the Lord walking with them. One of the easiest guarantee of carrying God's presence is to become a soul winner. You don't want that harlot to break into your family. You don't want that demon to manipulate your son. Saturate your home with divine presence. And let's see how Satan can come in. But one of the ways to activate it is by soul winning. Number 2, soul winning empowers you to build inheritances for your family and for your children. Psalm 2 verse 8. Ask of me, I'll give you the nations, the hidden for thy possession, and the outermost part of the earth for thy inheritance. Those who win souls, they build inheritances for their children. They build inheritance. Some of us, the favor we enjoy now, I know is the labors of my mother. I don't have the pedigree for most of the things I see. But they just look at you somewhere, somehow, they say, come, let's help this one. It's because of the sacrifices of soul winning and prayer of my mom. Oh, I grew up as a very stubborn and arrogant young man. I should have wrecked my own life. But at different junction, a voice will speak. At different junction, help will come. At different junction, intervention will come. I know I didn't pray for these things. But somebody gave her life for me. Every time she was on the altar, use this one. Use this one. This is one of the secrets of the rise of mighty men. Men that had their mothers as their covering, like the mother hen. Anywhere they go to, even in a strange land, he said the prayers of your mother will be a canopy over you. It's an inheritance. I tell people, inheritances are not cars. Inheritances are not lands. Inheritances are spiritual dimensions that when imparted can birth physical dimensions. This is why if you study your Bible, it's blessings that the patriarchs were handing over. And when you are blessed, cattle will be a byproduct. A wisdom will crystallize it. A connection will crystallize it. Women birth inheritances. Number 3, women who win souls activate divine wisdom. And you need it. Proverbs 11:30. Him that winneth souls is wise. If you don't have wisdom, how can you raise kings? That's why you enter society and you are shocked where some people came from. Because they never sat at the foot or the feet of wisdom. But one of the ways to activate it is soul winning. In Titus chapter 2, if you read from verse 3 to verse 6, he kept telling how the elderly women should teach the younger ones different dimensions of value. It takes wisdom to be a custodian who can impart that level of value. And one of the things that activates it is soul winning. Number 4, soul winning guarantees glorious eternity. Daniel 12 verse 3. It said, they that turn many to righteousness, they shall shine like the stars forever, and like the brightness of the firmament. So if you want a guaranteed eternity for yourself and for your children, we are in a corrupt world. And you know these things better. We are in a world today where people say they love their same gender. And they say they feel so. We are in a world today where it's a risk for your children to travel to some places. When they come out, they become strange creatures. You need insurance systems. A young man went to Canada. 4 months later, he started asking, is God real? You are 30 years old. You spent 4 months somewhere. You are arguing about God. That's the world we live in. Brutal spirits are trying to uproot God's agenda from the souls of men. If you want a guaranteed destination for your children, you must plunge yourself into God's agenda. And soul winning is number 1 of it. Number 5. Soul winning provokes supplies. You can't be a support structure if you don't have supplies. But supplies are also provoked by soul winning. Deuteronomy 17 and 18. Don't say with your hand, you made this wealth. For thou shalt remember the Lord your God. It is him that giveth thee power to get wealth, to establish his kingdom, which he promised to the fathers unto this day. Number 6, soul winning activates supernatural power. See, there's a level where you can advise your children. I preach and I tell people most of the times, those days, the world is not this wicked. You can afford to wake up 5 a.m., sit your son down, sit your daughter down, and say, don't do this, don't do that. Not in this generation. In this generation, there are demons that appear to people. There are systems that have been perverted to support iniquity. They are teaching children from primary school that intimacy is exercise. They are teaching children, it's part of the curriculum. So whatever you tell them, be sure that where they are going, what they will see and what they will hear. Advice is strong, it goes deep. But I'm saying demonic activities have become systematic in our generation. So advice alone is not enough. You need to carry supernatural dimension that you tell your child, come, kneel down. You put your hand on him. That hand imparts wisdom. You put your hand on him. That hand imparts preservation. When you tell your child, you will not fail. You release spirit into his soul. So that even when he wants to fail, an external voice will talk to him. That's the world where we live. We need women that have power in the spirit. So that when you tell your son, God is with you, even when he's about to fall, if an angel needs to appear, he will appear. If you will have guarantee, you will have spiritual power. And soul winning activates it. Mark 16:20. And they went. And the Lord walking with them, confirming the word with signs and wonders following. The Lord walking with them. So God walks with soul winners. And God confirms their utterances with signs and with wonders. Because of our time, finally, soul winning endears you and your family to God. John 15 verse 8. It endears you and your family to God. This is why you must give yourself to it. It makes you and your family to become God's pride and God's personal property. Say, herein is my Father glorified, that you bear much fruit, so you shall be my disciples. So when you start bearing fruit, God builds a personal connection with you. He teaches you, he empowers you, he preserves and protects you. This is why we must have women soul winners. Soul winning is important to God. Jesus died for it. God's agenda is advanced through it. And when you do it, heaven rejoices.
He who dwells in the midst of the cherubims shine forth